we'll close out 2021 in just a few hours, and what a year it has been. Many like myself thought COVID-19 would have been behind us, but that hope is still lingering because we are anticipating a fourth wave. Let us be responsible as we ring in the new year by practicing all the necessary COVID-19 safety protocols to avoid contracting or spreading the virus. Hello there. Welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. We have a very informative show lined up just for you, so stay with us.
Jamaica's COVID-19 vaccination plan is still in effect. If you wish to make an appointment, please do so online by visiting moh.gov.jm or by calling 888-663-5683. Vaccination still a keep. Go get your jab today.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, December 30. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett is urging media practitioners to be responsible in their coverage of the current and emerging COVID-19 variants. According to Minister Bartlett, the media's handling of the presence of the Omicron and the other variants could harm the recovery of the island's tourism sector. Pointing to the recent Travel 2 rating Jamaica received from the United States, its largest tourism market, Minister Bartlett reasoned that the rating could be compromised if the country feels the COVID-19 cases are widespread on the island. The minister adds that it could spell disaster for jobs, earnings, investments, and recovery within the industry.
I really urge and warn, all our brothers and sisters who, when we have to make comments, we have to bear in mind that yes, we must manage this health situation. Yes, we must overcome. Yes, we must recover, and we must recover fast. And yes, we must be transparent about it. But we also must be mindful of how critical the stability and the balance that is required is, and that we are walking a tightrope.
In the meantime, Minister Bartlett is urging tourism sector players, including workers, to get vaccinated.
The vaccine is all we have. I encourage you all. Go ahead and do it, because what it will do, it will save you from hospitalization and possible death, certainly if another strain comes into our country.
The COVID-19 summary for Wednesday saw 276 new cases with 5 additional deaths, bringing the total number of COVID-19 cases to 93,226 and deaths totaling 2,469. So far, almost 1.2 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines have been administered, with 3,180 being booster shots. Visitors to the island are already benefiting from a $100 million expansion now underway at the Sangster International Airport in Montego Bay, St. James. The master plan expansion project is currently focused on the departure section of the airport, which is expected to be completed during the first quarter of 2022. The departure area will include more shops, larger food courts, an expanded health facility, as well as a realigned entryway. During a recent tour of the facility, Transport Minister Robert Montague said he was satisfied with the quality of work being undertaken by local engineers and contractors.
They are doing an excellent job, world-class standards, and we should all be proud in Jamaica that our own people can be doing such high-class work. This investment into the airport system is one of our masterpieces within the ministry and within the government. It will make traffic for persons much easier, and it will inject a lot of funds within the general St. James economy.
The departures retail expansion will add over 2,500 square meters to the departures area, allowing for better circulation for passengers, but also exciting new experiences, commercial offerings, more circulation and seating space as well.
In the meantime, Transport Minister Robert Montague says the entrance to the Sangster International Airport will be included in the recently signed Montego Bay Perimeter Road project. Minister Montague made the announcement following a tour of the master plan expansion project being undertaken at the airport. Minister Montague said the expansion of the roundabout leading to the airport will significantly reduce traffic congestion in the area. He added that the renovations come at an ideal time as the airport is operating at 60% of its pre-COVID traffic levels.
It's an opportune time to do the work, and the new entrance that we'll be doing coming from the east will be tied into the new Montego Bay bypass, so that the bulk of the traffic will be coming through from the eastern end and will reduce the amount of traffic coming from the roundabout or at the western end.
Provisions are being made for the construction of a new drop-in facility for the homeless population in Westmoreland. Minister of Local Government and Rural Development Desmond McKenzie made the disclosure while on a tour of the parish recently. He says the move is part of efforts to cater to the homeless in the parish. The construction of the drop-in facility is also part of the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development's Social Protection Program. And finally, as of January 1, 2022, only the new voter identification card, which bears the Electoral Commission of Jamaica logo, will be valid. The current voter ID cards expire on Friday, December 31, 2021. Electors who did not receive their new voter ID card by Friday may request a temporary letter of identity, which can be used as a provisional identification document. The letter may be requested from the Electoral Office of Jamaica's 43 Duke Street headquarters or a constituency office where the elector is registered. So far, 850,000 new voter ID cards have been printed, and electors are being urged to collect their new card at the specified pickup location. Persons seeking additional information may call 876-922-0425-9 or email eojinfo@eoj.com.jm. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
We have now become accustomed to doing most transactions online, but it is very important that we understand how to safeguard ourselves from cyber attack. Here are some trends of which we should take note.
Cybersecurity trends, though ever-changing, are a constant in today's society, even more so due to the increased usage of technology to attend school, conduct meetings, carry out work tasks, and basic day-to-day necessities.
There are a lot of trends out there, but as far as the online space, phishing is one of the enduring challenges out there, and the trend these days is to actually utilize COVID-19 resource sites as a platform from which to launch these attacks. They look very much like the official sites for a lot of these companies, and if you're really not wary, you will actually not realize that there are subtle changes such as misspellings, such as a graphic that is not where it should be.
So phishing, what really is it? According to our research, it is a type of social engineering attack often used to steal your user data, including login credentials and credit card numbers. As Lieutenant Colonel Sterling just explained, the hackers can replicate a trusted website. They can even trick you into opening malicious emails and messages. Once you do this, by clicking the link attached, you could very well be giving the hackers access to your private information, so be careful.
Additionally, we've seen an uptick in ransomware, and this is where this usually starts as part of a phishing campaign, and when you have fallen victim, the end result is that the attacker gains access to either your device or your network, and they encrypt your files and ask for ransom. but we're also seeing an increase in cryptojacking. This is where hackers will actually steal your cryptocurrencies and they will take them to exchanges and cash out. So as Jamaicans become more adept at buying cryptocurrency and supporting our own digital currency issued by the central bank, they have to be more wary of some of the pitfalls of cryptojacking online. Now, we have seen also a good trends where the use of HTTPS for web-facing resources has increased by about 174% within the region. We have also seen a downward trend in malware infections because more persons are installing antivirus and anti-malware software and are generally becoming more responsible in their use. The need for security, if you really measure it, is costly, but the existence of a lack of security can be even more costly. Now, for the individual, there are free apps within the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store that you can use to help to secure your devices. And sometimes for a nominal cost, there are some that you can also use that will do a better job. Now, what works for you is really going to be up to what you do online and the devices that you have. But the risk of not having any protection at all is one that cannot necessarily have a dollar value placed to it. If your device gets encrypted by ransomware, what is the cost of it? Do you have backups? So that's another thing that you need to do, to back up your device, not just the settings, but also your data on the device. It is very easy to get pirated software or so-called free software from some download sites and torrents, but usually they come with unwelcome and hidden residents that will take over your devices and will sometimes cause you grief. So while it does have a cost attached to it, you have to do the cost-benefit analysis. What is the cost of not having security versus having security? And I can almost assure you that when you really do it, the cost of security will work out way cheaper than not having security.
Up next, using animated short films to build awareness of rights among children who are victims of crimes, as well as to strengthen their response to conflicts.
Children sometimes see too much. At other times, they hear too much. And many of them feel too much. There are situations where children become victims of crimes, seeing, hearing, and feeling too much of its effect. The hurt and trauma can linger without the proper intervention strategies. This is where government's Victim Services Division comes in. The VSD is having a far-reaching and sweeping impact as it provides help to this vulnerable group.
The Victim Services Division is that division within the Ministry of Justice, which is responsible for coordinating the ministry's support base for victims of crime. Anyone can become a victim of a crime. Victims of crime are often persons who suffer just about any crime you imagine. There are sexual crimes, small children, there is robbery, there is murder, wherein the primary victim, though, has deceased. The secondary victim, which is the family members, are there for the support that we give. We recognize that our victim population was getting younger. Whilst we still would have to communicate with them some of the complex concepts that are a part of the therapeutic process. Hence, we needed to find a medium that will allow for us to use their type of language, colors and sounds and movement.
Well, that medium the ministry found was the use of an animation bundle It is comprised of 8 short films that offer therapeutic intervention and lessons to children who are victims of crime.
Your daughter was almost abducted today, but she was smart. She ran away. However, there is more she could have done. Walking with headphones on is a dangerous habit. You must be alert. Pay attention to your surroundings and the dangers around you.
Our animation strategy involves the creation of a character called Justy. And Justy represents all that is good and right about what should be done when a child is faced with a difficulty. A child seeing the animation immediately will be able to interact. They are short animation films, so the attention span of the child is not hampered in any way. And our intent is not just for them to watch Justy, but to become and to embody the teachings, the values of Justy in order to help other children.
I have not left the house in over 3 weeks. I came here to work as a helper, and now he tells me that I'm going to work at a nightclub.
Put these on and get ready. We're leaving for the nightclub in half an hour.
Anyone can be trafficked. It does not matter your age, gender, or race.
We also ensure that we would have elected to choose specific topics which were current and will remain current. Abduction is a reality. The matter of being bullied is a reality. Human trafficked is another reality, and among others. There are 8 animation films. And these are current, we have seen over time. We have had the opportunity to have children literally vet the animations, and we are very comfortable that they have the content that will reflect concerns that children would want to share with their friends.
But why was the Victim Services Division so sure that these animated videos would have or will even continue to pull the required effect?
The process of developing an intervention involves doing an assessment. We would have had the benefit of, over the last 20 years, 200,000 victims that we would have been able to assess. We would have had clear understanding of what needs to be done to provide support for the victims of crime, hence the program VSD. What we did was to use that 20 years of experience. We have a cadre of trained social workers, psychologists, various levels of competencies to work with children. And we have just managed to package this entire expertise into 8 animations. I am absolutely confident that they have what it takes to make a difference.
So even in all the challenges, the Victim Services Division is working to provide psychosocial support for victims of crime. The division is committing its unit to the advancement of victim rights, including those of our children. And your role can be as simple as speaking up.
To properly carry out a hand rub, apply a palmful of the product in your cupped hand, covering all surfaces. Rub your hands palm to palm. Rub your right palm over the back of your left hand with interlaced fingers and vice versa. Rub your hands palm to palm with fingers interlaced. Rub the back of your fingers to opposing palms with fingers interlocked. Rotationally rub backwards and forwards the clasped fingers of your right hand in your left palm and vice versa. Once your hands are dry, they are now safe.
By planting a tree, you will not only be contributing to the 3 billion trees in 3 years initiative by the government, you will also be protecting the environment. Here's how to get started.
Trees are often considered the lungs of the earth. As part of their life cycle, they take in carbon dioxide and release oxygen into the atmosphere. Let's all continue this necessary part of keeping our planet healthy by planting more trees. And here's how you do it. First, things first. Decide what tree you will be planting. Is it one that will provide timber? Shade? Will it beautify your space or will you be eating its fruits? Once that's settled, you need to consider what kind of conditions it would need to grow. Naturally, some plants do better in some areas than others, while others need full exposure to sunlight versus those that can survive without direct light. And there's also the soil type to consider. Some trees thrive near seasides. Others prefer mountain areas, while certain trees are content in the valleys. Next up, space. Some trees grow wide, others tall. While you may be able to prune trees to keep them under control, some lose their essence when tamed. So, be sure to plant large trees in areas where they will have adequate space to grow. If you have a smaller space, consider growing a smaller tree that requires less pruning to keep it in check. Then there's the matter of your fully grown tree posing a threat to nearby structures. As a country situated in the hurricane belt, downed trees during times of disaster is a part of our reality. There's also the pesky issue of trees which shed their leaves profusely, and others with copious amounts of flowers and fruits, which might just be the cause of a dispute with your neighbor if planted near the fence. That being said, be sure to plant trees at a safe distance from walls, power lines, fences, sidewalks, and the very foundation of your house. Once you've considered all those tips, it's time to plant.
First step is to dig a hole, right? Not too deep, about a foot and a half, not too wide either, because you're not burying the plant. You're trying to provide a nice area for it to grow. Right? Upon digging your hole, if you notice that the soil type is clay, that is the kind of coarse soil type, you'd probably need topsoil, right? Because when you're putting back the soil, it's going to be a challenge for you. But after that, you dampen the soil, ensure that it's moist, provide a moist area or environment for the plant to be planted in. Ensure the plant is in the center of the hole. If you dig the hole a bit too deep, there's a process known as backfilling, right? That's when you put back the dirt into the soil to a certain height that is much favorable for you and for the plant. After you do that, you want to dampen the soil, right? Ensure the plant is in the center, because you end up having a plant to grow lean or to the side, because plants grow into the direction of the sunlight. Ensure that the soil goes up to the root collar. Now the root collar is where the stem and the root of the plant or the root plug meet, right? You don't want to go above that. Once you do finish that, you water it, then you stake it. When I say stake, you take either a bamboo stake or a regular stake, put a flagging tape beside onto it and put it beside the plant. That is you marking the plant. So once you're doing any maintenance, you yourself or any other individual in the area can know that, hey, there's something planted there, so you don't end up wasting your effort and time when planting. The most important thing is watering after and nurturing the plants. So you water early mornings and late evenings. If you water in between those times, especially in the afternoons, the plant will end up struggling with the intake of the water, right? Because the sun is going to be evaporating at the same time it's trying to take in the nutrients. You can also mulch, fertilize, or add kaya dust or sawdust to the mound to help lock in moisture for the plant.
And there you have it, a step-by-step demonstration of how to plant a tree. Call 876-618-3205 or visit 173 Constant Spring Road to get your plant seedlings. Happy planting!
In spite of all our differences, our country. I believe that we can join our hands and make a difference in Jamaica. I believe, I believe, I
This is where our journey ends, but only for today. Do join us again tomorrow when we'll bring you another informative program. In the meantime, stay connected via our website, jis.gov.jm. And while you're online, send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm or via tweet at JIS News. You may also find us on all the major social media platforms and through our mobile app that's Android and iOS compatible. On behalf of the entire production crew, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.